right, hello everyone, and welcome to Angular Forms. This might be a kind of quick one. There's not a ton to this, but hopefully this gives you some ideas for when you're doing things like, say, your capstone, where you're going to have people be able to submit information and work with that. How this all comes together. So. Couple aspects to making forms in Angular. First thing, we need to import the forms module. That's built in. It's already installed, but you do need to configure your app module to use it. Works exactly the same as like importing the router module. Next step, you need to ref the form with ng form. It's a directive that we get once we've imported the forms module. And so you'll give the form a label, and you'll set that label equal to the ng form directive. You will ng model, that's another directive, any inputs. And then you will listen for the ng submit event on the form. And then you'll call your handler, whatever should process the form submission. With the ref's value, and that will map all of that'll be an object with the keys and values for all the stuff in your form. That's it. Questions so far? All right, let's make a login form. So go ahead and follow along with me. I'm going to make a new Angular project. So npx at Angular CLI new. I'm going to call this Angular signup form. Add routing? Nah. Fine.
Hey Kyle,
Yes.
every time I install like a new Angular project, it keeps yelling at me saying my node is an odd number. Like, does that really matter, or should I leave
Yeah.
it alone?
So what you can do to fix that is on the first day we installed a tool called NVM,
Mhm.
And you can update your node by doing nvm install node. That's a shortcut for install whatever the latest version is. And so, like I was on 18.00, now I'm on 18.20. So once that's installed, you need to set it as your default. So the nvm use default node, and that's how you switch versions. Otherwise, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it.
Thank you.
Give you a second to finish your installs on your slow computers. Once that install pops, head over to your app module. And we need to import a couple things, or one thing. It's just like the browser module, except it's called Forms module. And it comes from Angular Forms. It'll go right below browser module. Done. Import the module, import the module. Easy enough. Next thing, let's go over to our app component HTML. Delete the boilerplate. And we're going to make a sign-up form. So make it look maybe something kind of like this. Oop, I should probably serve this up. Go into Angular sign-up form. Start that puppy.
Can we see your HTML again?
Yep. Hang on, this is on 37015. All right, there it is. Something kind of like that. And doesn't need to look like shit, so I'll just put this in style tags for now so I can keep it on the screen. But input and label should be display block. Input should have a margin bottom of 24 pixels. And label should have a color of the number of the beast. I'm going to say font family sans serif. And padding maybe like 8 pixels. All right, cool. I can live with that. Yeah, maybe make that label a little smaller. All right, I'm just going to throw all of this over in the CSS file. All right. Questions about any of this? Anybody need more time?
Yeah, I need a little bit more time. My VS Code was frozen.
No problem. Take it.
Can you show your CSS briefly before you move on?
Sure. All right. So, next thing, ref the form using ng form. So we make refs with the octothorpe or pound sign or hash, depending on what year you were born. So we call this like sign up form. And we set it equal to ng form.
If we wanted it to be a sign up form, should we have it be sign up rather than login?
Oh, yeah, why not? Login form. Good call. So that's a ref, and we're setting it equal to the ng form directive. We ng model any inputs. Like so. And then we listen for the ng submit and call a handler with whatever the ref is, dot values.
Can I see your NG model? Okay, never mind. Okay.
So over in the app, component TS can make a login method that maybe I destructure out username and password. Still need to type that. It's going to be typed as username is a string, password is also a string. Cool. So I've got a function to handle the data that I'm going to get from this form. If I wanted to, I could make that a type. That might make it easier to read. Same thing. And then I need to call that login form whenever the ng on submit event happens. That's ng submit. And then I want to call login with login form dot values. Value. All right, let's see if it works. Yeah! There we go. So we made a form. That's right. We started by importing the forms module, importing it into the apps module. We refed the form with ng form. We ng modeled our inputs. We listened for ng submit, and then we called a handler with that ref dot value. That's it. Forms.
Can I see your app module TypeScript?
Mm-hmm.
I think I mistyped something here.
All I did in here, import that, add it to this list.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hit me with some questions. What's on your mind?
So I know there are services that offer forms built in,
Mhm.
like the materials. Is this a better way of doing it rather than using a service?
I don't know. I could go either way on that. I think that you should know how to do this,
Mhm.
and that would probably be my first call. Every time I use one of those like third-party magic form things, I end up disappointed.
Yeah.
Your mileage may vary, but I think the built-in form stuff they have is better than any other SPA framework, so I'd probably just roll with that. Questions?
On mine, the password is showing. How did you get yours to not show?
That. The default type for an input is text. Type password obscures the stuff as you're typing.
Okay, I had ID rather than or type.
You also want the ID because that's what's going to link the label. And name is what is going to make it show up on the form when you submit it. So you need all of them. What else?
Can I see your component TypeScript file?
Totally.
The app component. I mistyped something there.
So what I did on this one is I added a type for login data, and then I destructured out the username and password.
Okay. Yep. That's right. You went back and changed that, right? While you were typing it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I messed up. Thanks.
What else? Mic drop. Booyah achieved. Okay, cool. Stand down in half an hour.